Hello everyone, this is Tanvi, Bryanna, and Caroline, and our poem is America by Fatimah Asghar. Am I not your baby? Brown and not allowed my own language, my teeth pulled from my mouth, tongue bloated with corn syrup? America, didn't you raise me, bomb the country of my fathers, and then tell me to go back to it? Didn't you hold the men who murder children in schools, who spit at my bare arms and uncovered head? America, wasn't it you who makes and remakes me orphan, who burns my home, watches me rebuild, and burns it down again? Wasn't it you who uproots and mangles the addresses until there are none, until all I have are my own hands, and even those you've told me not to trust? America, don't turn your back on me. Am I not your baby, brown and bred to hate every inch of my skin? Didn't you raise me? Didn't you tell me bootstraps, then steal my shoes? Didn't you make there no back for me to go back to? America, am I not your refugee? Who do I call mother if not you? Now we will present our analysis. In Fatimah Ashgar's poem America, the juxtaposition of America's role as both a parent and an antagonist in the narrator's life helps reveal the purpose behind the narrator's despair and attitude towards America. The false promises and hypocrisy experienced by the narrator put her at odds with her own cultural identity, showing how one's upbringing can influence their sense of self-esteem and belonging in the future.
The narrator's description of being raised by America and the role of its ideals in her life show the extent to which her identity was shaped by America, leading her to remain dependent on it. The dialogue in the poem is framed as desperate pleas from a child to a parent, with the narrator repeatedly asking, "Am I not your baby?" to America in lines 1 and 26, seeking affirmations from the parental figure in her life, wanting to know if she really does belong. Constantly relying on outside opinions to evaluate her own self-worth, the narrator is torn down by the rejection she experiences repeatedly in the place she believes is her home. In lines 24 to 25, as the narrator begs America to not turn its back on her, her pleas show that she feels left behind by the place she was raised. The narrator's internal conflict of struggling to fit in and be accepted while still knowing that America is ultimately her home makes her question her life decisions, asking America in line 35 who she should call mother, if not America. The narrator feels trapped in her own home, tied down to a place that she knows she truly does not belong in, with nowhere else to go. Just like those of a parent, America's ideals are deeply instilled in the narrator's belief, every aspect of her life being shaped by her parent, and her self-worth depending solely on how she is viewed in the eyes of those who raised her. However, this reveals the hypocrisy of America's actions, as the narrator remains dependent on it but is repeatedly rejected by it, placed in a compromising position because she is never fully accepted. Like most children, the narrator idolized America growing up, viewing her country as a hero where she could have unlimited opportunities for her future. As she grew up, the narrator began to see faults in her parental figure, because America's treatment of her was the primary cause of the obstacles in her life that lowered her self-esteem.
The role of America as an adversary in the narrator's life is shown to damage the narrator's confidence by making her feel unwanted and extremely resentful. While parents are supposed to provide for their children and America preaches ideals of acceptance and diversity, like a bully, America is instead shown to have taken everything away from the speaker. In lines 8 through 9, the speaker states that America bombed the country of her fathers and then tells her to go back to it, even while there is nothing to go back to. These actions have, quote, made and remade her an orphan because she no longer has a place to call home in both America and her country of origin. Her bitterness because of this abandonment is clearly shown in the way that the speaker states that she is brown and bred to hate every inch of her skin and was taught to not even trust her own hands. She uses harsh language, stating that her teeth were pulled out as a metaphor to explain that she is not allowed her own language and must speak English, even though America doesn't technically have an official language. Overall, all of America's promises were proven to be false, and all of her opportunities have been stolen from the speaker. At the end of the poem, when the narrator asks, "America, am I not your refugee?" this is because the speaker's life has not become better. This question is a clear representation of their disillusionment towards the life that they were promised and have not received. And the narrator is instead being forced to evaluate if she even belongs in the country at all.
In conclusion, in Fatimah Ashgar's poem America, America's relationship with the narrator is shown to be tumultuous, with the narrator depending on America for her sense of belonging, even when America constantly brings her down. The narrator's self-confidence has been eroded over time by the actions of the country that raised her, complicating her relationship with her own identity and leading her to have a resentful attitude towards America.